Good evening.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, we're in session.
Yes, I know. I'm just waiting for all the pictures to appear. Good.
I'm here, Madam Chair.
Is Mr. Daniels on?
I do not see him.
Okay, all right. The Lincoln Heights Finance Committee is now called to order. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Present.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Present.
Councilman Durance Daniels. No response. Absent. There are 4 who are present and 1 who is absent. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. I will let the previous prayer sustain us. Is there a motion in the previous meeting?
Motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting pending any corrections.
Is there a
Second.
second?
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any questions? Any questions? Hearing no questions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition or abstentions? Thank you. Old business tonight. Committee members, you are aware that the mayor has asked us to come up with some goals. Do any of you have any goals you would like for the Finance Committee to achieve this year?
I have a goal, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Okay, is that we don't hold our meetings any longer than an hour and a half.
anybody else? Ms. Key?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair, thank you. One of my goals is for us to begin to look at particular bonds that might be available for the village. I would like to see what the village bond rating is. And the reason why I say that, and I'll talk to you, Ms. Mitchell, as well for one of the other committees, is as we begin to do large development projects, we want to see what finances or opportunities are out there in the way of bonds.
Okay, so Ms. Key, you want to make that a little more succinct. You want to just see what our bond rating is or
So
apply
two.
for bond?
So,
Okay.
so 2, so see what our bond rating is, so we know
Okay.
what our bond rating is, that's one.
Okay, determine our bond rating, okay.
Yeah. And then the other one is begin to look for bond opportunities
Okay,
that we may be able to either acquire, develop, set up, what have you, just depends on what would be appropriate.
all right. Mr. Vice Mayor?
I have nothing at this time.
All righty. All right, so we have 3 goals: short meetings, determine our bond ratings, and look for bond opportunities. Anything else? All right. The audit update, Ms. Pope, you on? You want me to do it? Is Ms. Pope on, or is that somebody else?
That's
Ms.
Donna
Pope should
Pope.
be on.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Pope should be on. There, she's there.
I'm here.
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So as I was speaking with you earlier today, what happened is after I think it was the 1st, I received a phone call from our local government services audit supervisor, April Davis, and they are going to start to resume the reconciliation process. And then they will also be communicating with the audit team for 18-19 audit. And they will be getting together and giving me all the adjustments that we need to make. And then they will start to resume our regular 18-19 audit.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Pope?
I do have a question, Madam Chair.
Okay,
And I'm going off of memory, so if I don't say it all the way 100%, I think you guys will know what I'm speaking of. I believe the last time we talked about the audit, we were talking about that our bank record showed one amount and our book record showed another amount. Have we been able to bring that closer together? Have we been able to see some adjustments that make sense, that would make sense as to why those numbers were so far off? Or are we still in the process where we're still figuring all that out?
No, we know exactly what it is, and that
Okay.
they're talking with the local government services is talking with the audit team to see how they want me to make the adjustments, all the adjustments that need to be made, how we're going to do it. That's the process that they're into now, but we know exactly what it is.
Perfect. And then one more question, Ms. Mitchell, I'm sorry.
oh, no problem.
Will we be able to see the final report as to what took place, or?
Yes,
Okay.
the local government services will give a final report, and then when the audit resumes, of course, they'll give us a final report on the 18-19 audit.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Pope.
You're welcome.
Any other questions regarding the audit update?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
did you send a different agenda?
No, I did not.
I don't see audit on this agenda. Did you send a different one or is it the same one?
Ms. Randolph?
Yes, Madam Chair, Councilwoman Childs Jeter, there was a updated one sent out a little bit after 4, between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. There was
Today?
something else that, yes, there was something else that Councilwoman Mitchell wanted me to add to the agenda. And I believe that was the village financial sustainability. I think that was what she wanted me to add to the agenda. It was sent out at 2:26. I'm looking at the email now.
I have audit on mine.
Or sometime like that.
Oh,
All right.
I'll look for it and try to print it. If not, then I'm okay.
We'll move on to the finance report. Pope?
Did you say Ms. Pope?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be you.
Well, I have to pull it up. I didn't find, I don't have it in front of me. I have to pull it up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, for December 31st, 2020, or say 1920, woo, 2020, on our financial narrative page, we have our fund reconciliation. The cash balance at December 31st was $1,593,781.23. We had outstanding checks of $40,543.57. Total year-to-date revenue for at December 31st, 2020 was $3,376,942. The month-to-date retail, I'm still shocked. The month-to-date revenue report for the month of December will show total revenue received was $329,827. So our expenditures through December 31st was $2,687,770. Our month-to-date detail expenditure will show expenditures for the month of December, $245,546. Total checks issued for the month of December was $261,527. Our earnings tax for the month of December was $35,708. I wanted to point out on page, if you guys have page 5, the earnings tax for the month
For the year.
Was $869,665. And that's a $250,000 over the estimated receipts.
All right, reconciliation, Ms. Pope. Anybody have any questions? Reconciliation, Ms. Pope.
So reconciliation is, we're going to go through the bank numbers. The bank has the $1,550,708.36, and our fund has $1,437,305.41. And Ms. Key, this is the area that they're correct. The auditors are correcting for us. So once we get those adjustments and post them to our system will equal the bank's. So the bank has more money than the system has. So when they get finished with the local government services get finished with the reconciliation audit, we'll make those adjustments, and then they'll continue on with 1819 audit, the regular audit.
Any questions on the reconciliation?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So Ms. Pope, that difference, is that a normal difference? When I'm saying normal, like 1%, 2%, the difference from what we have and what the bank has, is that normal?
No, that is not normal, and that's an error. So once they correct the error that I've made, then it'll be in sync with the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's not normal.
Is it a law? Okay, that's all. Okay.
You want the bank numbers to match your system numbers. So.
But their number was higher than ours, correct?
Right.
So although we made a mistake, we still in the good, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I guess that's one way you can look at it. No money is missing. It's just I've been charging our system more money. I mean, I've been charging it more in expenditures than I should have. And so once that gets corrected, it'll be the bank amount. It should be the bank amount.
Ms. Pope, why don't you explain one more time what actually happened, what you were, I guess, overexpending, where you were posting extra?
Okay, so we have a cash fund, and so we balance our system is by fund. And so what we do is we, whatever we receive, I post, and whatever we expend, I post. But what happens is payroll is, it comes through our bank at net amount, right? But the information that I have, I've been entering gross amount. So gross amount would be all the fringes and any kind of deductions and all of that. So when I enter it at gross amount, I shouldn't be entering it at gross amount. I should be entering it at net amount. So when I'm posting it at gross amount, I'm actually double posting to the system. So I'm charging the system twice, and I shouldn't be. And that's what the auditors told me that I was doing. Now, the audit before that, they didn't tell me what exactly was going wrong. So, because the system's been off since like 2016, and the auditors didn't tell us. They just told us that our system had more money, and the bank had more money than our system. And so they didn't tell me what was going on. These particular auditors, these next set of auditors, they're saying, no, we're not gonna continue with this because your system is still off. So we need to figure that out first. So they told me to contact the local government services of the auditor's office so they can do another, I guess, scaled down audit just to see where the problem is at. And once she sent me the information, so she's checking my numbers, and then she sends it back to me to check all of my transactions, and I'm finding what's off. And so I'm sending it back to her. And so she said, okay, you're posting your payroll at gross, and it's coming through your bank at net. Mm-hmm. So we need to straighten that out.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for the reconciliation? Anybody have any other questions of Ms. Pope on the report?
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a comment. I'm trying to get to the page where I was looking, and I may not be able to find it right away because I made a note of it, but it may just be a mental note. I just want to thank Ms. Pope for going ahead on your check registry and giving us that payment detail. That's very helpful.
Okay.
So you know what your question was, Ms.
It
might be able to help you.
It has something to do with the payment details. It seemed as if a lot of it made sense, but some of it seemed like it may have been duplicate, or like we were not duplicating a payment, but we were paying the same organization maybe twice for the same
You're not
month.
talking about Lincoln Heights payroll, are you?
No, I saw that. No, not that one. Not that one. Some of them made sense, like CARES Act, because I know they went to different, or that was different organizations or what have you. And I can't remember. It was minor, and I'll just, okay, if I see it again, it wasn't anything major, but it was just because I saw the payment detail, and then I was starting to look at the payment detail, and then something just jumped out. I know what it was. It was copier. It may have been copier payments. It seemed like I saw copier payments.
For PowerNet, somebody, Power Plan or something like that.
It's Power Plan, and it's D-Lodge or D-Lodge, however you say that, D-Lodge Landon Financial. So one copier is back in the police department.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. That's what it was. Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Thank you so much. That was it, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll turn it over, going to new business. Ms. Powdra, Village Financial Sustainability.
Hey, Matt, can you share my screen again?
You still should be good from last time.
All right, great. So I'm going to share my screen, just what I shared in the safety committee. Just want to kind of show folks how we will approach our finances in the coming year. We don't have any targets, and we'll build on this. And the areas that I've kind of populated is where I would like to focus is like, how do we the presentation and format of our financials, working with the chair to see if we can do it in a way that's more easily to be understood. I don't know if anybody else has that challenge or could be helpful. Let's just try another way to see if we can make it easy for council to read. I think Councilwoman Keep touched on B, build financial strategy and sustainability, and to understand what are our capabilities with using bonds, and how to build a strategy around what our future wants are. So like a perfect example is like, if we're going to do some big economic development projects, if we have the capabilities of issuing bonds, we need to know what our bond rating is, and how do we, if it's not where we want it to be, how do we build our balance sheet to be able to get favorable terms in the marketplace. And that could, in addition to bonds, it could be other types of financing opportunities that could potentially be like, for example, New Markets tax credits is a great tool to go out and ask for funding as a funding source. So building a capital stack depending on the particular project that we're seeking to do. It may require unique financing tools and different from many sources. So this would allow us to explore that. And then my other one I had was to benchmark against other peer communities that are our size, to make sure that we're kind of matching what the appropriate ratio should be for a community of our size. So we start to build that out. And as I said in the other, the safety meeting, depending on interested, may take on A, B, or C is to lead, to take the ownership. But we would still in the village, staff would play an integral part of it in whatever it is. But there might be someone that might have an interest in saying, I want to lead that particular item. Does anyone have questions? All right. That's all I have right now. This will probably expand. It will probably expand. So just be aware.
No problem. Thank you.
Start to think of other stuff we should be doing. Not that we're doing it wrong. It might be a better way for us to do it, a more efficient way to do it. And that's all we're exploring.
Thank you, Ms. Powdrell.
Vice Mayor, or you?
Go ahead.
Madam Chair. Okay, you telling me to go ahead? Okay, and I did have questions about the check register, but so can you send us an updated one with your goals filled in? Ms. Powdrell?
I did have, those are my goals that you saw there. So when Councilwoman Key and I meet, we may talk about sustainability and what that looks like. So she mentioned bonds. So that template I just showed you, she mentioned bonds. Then it's my job to go out and find out everything she needs to know about bonds and our rating, and if we're going to implement that tool, how will we use it, and what will we use it for?
I understand that, but that goes into this thing here that you gave us, right? Oh, well. Does that go into this?
I showed you an example, but there will be one of those templates for each goal that we have, each priority that we have.
So yes, on that paper that you just gave Ms. Powder, that you just shared with us, once you at least find out what our bond rating is, and you will put something other than under there, and it will show what? Yellow in progress or whatever.
Yeah,
the
in
color is.
progress.
So yeah, she'll fill that in as pieces come together.
Yeah, so that document will actually continue to expand, and some will stay red and some will stay green and move back and forth. But ultimately, we should have a solution at the end where when we get to that solution, then we start to create measures on it to say, well, we want to measure, did we do a bond in 2021? That could be, 2022, that could be a goal for us. To acquire something. Do we want to acquire something using bond financing? Do we want to go to the state to ask the state for some funding for something?
More streets, better street bonds. So
Right.
yeah, Ms.
That
Kate.
would be good.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
When you guys were talking about that, I thought about one additional thing, and that's looking at our tax levies, looking at our levies that we had. I hear a lot of people speak that a large part of the taxes that's paid when you live in a village for a homeowner goes to the village. And we did some, well, hold on, because we did some looking, and I'm not saying good or bad. All I'm saying is that I would like to see what we have in tax levies, what we have out there, what might be coming up for renewal, if we want to renew. You understand what I'm saying? So we have.
Right. Well, Ms. Pope does do that, usually before, I would say, let's say around May, because if there's a levy coming up, we know we have to have it down there by August. So we have to have enough time to do that. But in the meantime, we can supply that information for you. And it doesn't hurt to do tax education, because most of our money go to the school district.
Yeah.
Well, we took a look at it. I looked at my own patch.
Where did most of your money go?
The village.
To the village.
But I don't have a problem with that. And my conversation was, at the time we needed that. We didn't have an aggressive tax department going after earnings taxes and things like that. So now things are starting to level out. We want to start seeing what makes sense for our sustainability, what makes sense to, all those things. So we just want to see where we are, what we have, what we might want to
we'll add tax education to our goal.
Exactly. Thank you, ma'am. That was it.
Anything else?
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we allowed to go back to the check registry stuff?
Okay.
Okay, I see on page 9, CARES Act payment for $5,000. We gave them $5,000. That was part of that CARES Act money that we received.
Yes.
And we only gave it to those two?
Yes, it was stipulations. They had to, those are our food pantries, and they had to have a 501c3.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there was a food pantry in the community and they had their 501c3 determination, you could give it to food pantries.
Okay, did they have to apply for it, or we just offered it to them like a donation? I don't think it's a bad thing,
donation.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, just offered it to them as, when I got
Did
that.
we try to find out if we had any other people that were eligible?
Yeah,
yes.
With the churches.
Madam
I
Chair.
did. I tried to call Miss Welch, left the message at Revealed Holiness. And I would assume that as a church that they had it, but she never returned my call.
That was a phone call. Did we send a letter?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, okay. I had a question about that, as well as the essential workers pay. That's that $1,000 that they receive, right? Do we have 10 employees?
Excuse me?
We have 10 employees?
Yes.
Okay, because I only counted 9. And the 158 essential workers, somebody was short or something, so we had to cut them a 158 check?
No, that was just some taxes that came out. A small amount of taxes.
Anything
Madam
else?
Chair.
One moment. Anything else, Ms. Vice Mayor?
No, I don't have anything else. Oh, yes, I did that annual $35,000. We do that. That's put in our budget, that Civica North America annual and software.
Civica North America, that's a 23,000 of that was an upgrade, and that came out of CARES Act. And the remaining was our annual fee. When I gave you guys an update on the all the different fundings that we had, there was a list at the bottom of what we was going to use the CARES Act money for, and it's called Tax Connect. So that's the same thing. It's Civica is the company, but the upgrade was called Tax Connect. That's to Ms. D's system. So now you can file online and accept payments and all of that other stuff.
You gave us okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was when we were talking about all the different fundings that we had out.
It was last month, with last month's report.
It was a separate thing too, okay.
Yeah, and the last page was everything that we were going to use the CARES Act money towards. So it was a list, and that was on the list.
Was Lincoln Heights Outreach on the list too?
No. It wasn't.
I mean, those two people, because I didn't know that.
Those two weren't on there when we were. I think somebody brought that up on. You can give it to the pantries, so they got thrown in at the. I hate to say it like that, but it was trying to use up all that funding before the deadline, and then they extended the deadline. So. But they on that list of what we could use the CARES Act funding, they said you can give it out to food pantries. The residential rent program, we were trying to do that, but it wasn't enough time to get that going to be able to help out the residents with their rent and mortgage payments. And then the food pantry, so we gave it out to the 2 food pantries that provided their 501c3 information.
That we reached out to.
Well, we reached out to more than 2, but they were the ones who provided the information that we needed in order to give disperse that amount.
One last question, Madam Chair.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a plan in case? Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Somebody else had a hand up.
Well, go ahead. I see Ms. Jeter, but go ahead. You said you had one more question?
Okay. Do we have a plan in case some more money comes around? Do we have a plan for the eviction or mortgage help, just in case we got a new president getting sworn in tomorrow?
Ms. Powdra.
So we have talked to CAA, but because of timing, that's what Donna is really alluding to, our timing and trying to get the money out and not knowing with I guess I can't say current administration, what they were doing. We were just trying to figure out ways. And so we did have an at-length conversation with Mark Lawson at CAA about what can we do in the community. And the biggest hurdle at that time was how do we deploy the cash? Did not meet the guidelines that they needed, but we said, let's continue this conversation on how we do it, because we don't necessarily have the capacity inside the village to manage those applications and go through those applications. So that is still a conversation I would love to continue to have, and they want to support the village on how we can help families in the village of Lincoln Heights. And any other programming, I think that is worth having that broader conversation, because I've always said that I think 2021 is still going to be a rough year, and we should do whatever we can, if we get the resource, to be mindful of how we can help the people that are suffering in the village. So that's a great question.
Ms. Childs Jeter.
Oh, my turn, huh? Okay.
Yeah, because I guess the Vice Mayor's finished now.
Yeah, okay. It's good. What I wanted to say to the Vice Mayor is that I recommended the pantry, the Valley Boosters, to get that amount, to get something for all the things that they do here in distributing food to the people. So just wanted to let you know that was I did reach out to the Valley Boosters.
Thank you. I'm not against anybody getting any of the money. I just want to make sure we spread it out. That's
I
all.
wanted to let you know that we didn't have to reach out. I mean, that the village didn't reach out. I did.
Anything else? Ms. Powell, I do have a question. So to piggyback off what the Vice Mayor said. So now Mark is he the director, or is he still the board chair? What is he now at CAA?
Mark is the president, the CEO.
Okay, so he was board chair, right?
Yes, he was. And when Robertson left, he became the president and CEO.
Okay. So in the event they do have another round of giving, so to speak, so will you all be trying to work on that, where we would have funds, but we would give them to orchestrate that, because they would be more equipped? Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, I think the issue is kind of twofold. They have monies, and they have a lot of people requesting help. And from our perspective, do we play the role of intake and they manage the disbursement of it? That might be, but do we have the internal capacity to do that, making sure the documentation that they need, that we're giving it to them, that is proper? So that's the conversation that we should revisit real soon with CAA, if they still, because they have the infrastructure already.
Right.
Do it. They know how to take it in and all of that. But I wanted, I know sometimes because they can be overwhelmed and they don't have much staff at CAA because of COVID, if there's some way that we can help the process along by doing it at the village, some aspect of it, and then transferring it over to them.
Okay, well, I have a couple ideas, so we can talk about it when we meet.
Yeah.
Is there anything else for the good of the order? Mayor, you have anything?
Yes, I do. And Miss Palgio probably will be chiming in. So I wanted to bring back information regarding Mariana Terrace and the wall, the noise wall that they had was, I'm not going to say forced, but it was brought to their attention. There was a noise issue. And so ODOT, me and Ms. Palgio met with them last week. They were giving us an update. And as far as Mariana Terrace and Mr. Johnson, the fencing that ODOT wanted to put up is way past the vicinity of the Mariana Terrace projects. They're actually wanting to do a longer fence. I'm not sure of the yardage, but to me, it sounded like it would be a fence that would enclose all of Lincoln Heights. So that was something that they knew that we did not want to happen. And they are in agreement of that. And so they are asking that they're going to be sending a letter to ODOT, Ohio Department of Transportation. And they're asking the village to do a support letter to support them in their efforts that what I'm gonna do is I'll read it to you guys, okay? And then that way Ms. Paltrow can. I just wanted counsel because they were wanting us to do the support letter. And I did tell them that that we were having a committee meeting. They asked, I think the meeting we had was the day after our regular council meeting. So I did tell them I would need to, you know, it's a support letter of, I think we're all in agreement that we do not want all of Lincoln Heights closed up. So I told them I would bring this to the attention of council, let you guys know and be aware that they're in agreement with us. So I'm going to just read the support letter that we will be giving Mr. Johnson. Thank you for meeting with me and our village manager, Joyce Powdrell, this morning to discuss the Mariana Terrace project located at 1700 Wabash Avenue in the village of Lincoln Heights. In recent months, the noise levels along the interstate have been reviewed and are in our interactions with the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT. A wall was proposed by ODOT that will run along the side of I-75 in the village of Lincoln Heights. After review of myself and the village manager, that proposal was turned down. While our main concern is doing everything possible to create a peaceful living environment for the residents of Lincoln Heights, we feel a wall would create a barrier and reduce the exposure to the border community. CMHA has fully explained the noise level issue pertaining to outside recreation at Mariana Terrace. As a community council, we still believe that putting up walls would further alienate Lincoln Heights and Mariana Terrace from the community as a whole. I commend CMHA for its innovative efforts to preserve low-income housing resources that are desperately needed in the village of Lincoln Heights. Sincerely, Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumphrey. So I wanted to bring this, bring you all together, and I knew you all would be here, and I just needed to bring that to your attention because I know we don't have a meeting till Monday. So they were wanting us to do the support letter, and I wasn't sure of time of the essence they needed, but I did want to allow Ms. Powdrell if she wanted to chime in on the meeting that we had, so to bring you up to speed. Ms. Powdrell?
Yeah, I'm in an agreement with the mayor that a letter of support would be appropriate in this manner. And it sounds like it's something that you guys have been talking about and are in agreement about the noise factor and not being closed in. I think keep in mind, if we're going to thinking about economic development, if that area is going to be the gateway, you'll be also closing that in as well.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask the Madam Mayor, I'm listening to that language, I don't hear what we're supporting. Did I miss it? Because I know my computer was in and out.
Yeah, we're basically supporting them not to have a wall there. I know they, CMHA, to them, they were only interested in, which they were going to be paying themselves. They were only interested in having a wall just on the back side of the playground area. But ODOT came back to them and wanted to extend the wall all the way alongside Lincoln Heights, and that would not interest us because we had already discussed that back in 2016, I believe. And I know we've had conversations, not a lot, but I had brought that to you guys about a month or so ago when it was first brought to my attention that they had ran across this when they were trying to start doing the renovation planning.
So Madam Chair, just to follow up to that.
Yeah, go ahead, Kai.
Okay, thank you. So can we just specify that in the letter of support? I'd be for that letter of support. I just would not want ODOT to misunderstand.
Oh, yeah. So that's why, that's a draft. It's not sent or anything, but I needed to chime in and find out what you guys, you know, are y'all in agreement, and to get some feedback.
I'm in agreement with what CMHA is asking for their,
Mhm.
at their area. I am not in agreement with the full wall along the border of Lincoln Heights.
Yeah, and that's exactly what our sentiments were when we talked last week. We was like, oh no, we're not, and they were in agreement. They were on the same level that we were. We've already been alienated, and when it was brought to my attention, I was like, oh no, this is not, and it's beautiful. You know, it's beautiful, the new highway, and we want to be seen, especially with our gateways. So. But thank you, Ms. Key. I will put that in there. If anybody else has any suggestions, send me an email because I'm planning to send that. I don't think we needed a vote for that, but just wanted to let you guys know.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept and recommend acceptance of the finance report? Council on Monday?
Madam Chair, can I ask one more question?
Yes, ma'am.
That the $3,900 something for the police bikes, did that money for the bikes come out of that grant that they received?
I believe, is Ms. Pope still there? That may be a question that, oh, go ahead, Ms. Powell. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. Go ahead, Ms. Powell.
No, that did not come out of the sheriff's grant that they received. It came out of the CARES Act funding to support.
How many bikes for $3,900? Because bikes are expensive. To me, that's what, 1 or 2 bikes?
There were 2 bikes.
Yeah. Do they come equipped with some police stuff on it or something, or is it just a regular bike?
No, they come really equipped, like flashing lights and horns and stuff like that. You will, if you come to the village, I'll show them to you. They were really nice, and they have the sheriff printed on them. So they have these they are fitted specifically for the sheriff department. Yes.
Another question, Madam Chair, about the bicycles. Do we have to pay extra insurance for those? I know it's not a vehicle, but is their vehicle that they're using, is it anything different with insurance with the bicycles?
I don't know the exact answer to that, but I would imagine that would be the burden of the sheriff's department. If they have to pay extra insurance, it would not be the burden of the village.
So they pay the insurance on their police cars, our police cars? If the bicycle is ours, why would they have to pay insurance on our bicycles?
So I said, I'm not sure on that. So I can answer, get an answer for you. But
I'm just saying, because if they fall or crash the bicycle, how do we replace it? That's what I mean by insurance. Are we using the bicycles are in place of a car, right? So they can do more community engagement. They should probably be insured in some kind of way too. That's what I was asking.
I'm sorry, that's a good point. Yeah,
I would say that all of our any vehicles of any sort like that would be insured. So what we need to do is just make sure that Ms. Pope has added it to the PEP, to the PEP.
Well, I don't know what we need to tell her, but that's why I was asking that
Right, but
question. Make sure the bikes are
do.
insured.
That's what we do when you get new equipment, something like that. Any of the equipment that we get, if it's the backhoe, all of that would be listed under our equipment on that PEP agreement.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
What now, Ms. Key?
I'm sorry. I'm saying, the more I sit here, the more I think.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Good things come to mind.
It's because we're doing all of these work that's kind of intertwining with each other. It's just good. It's just good stuff. And this is to the mayor and to the village manager. So as we communicate with CMHA, and this may not be, it may not be something that we can do. If they're going to put up a wall, it would be nice if we can include some signage or something on the wall that can be seen from the highway that reflects the village of Lincoln Heights or something like that. So maybe that'll be a future project, just looking for rights to be able to utilize that space if we can. I'm just See? It's just
That
my
sounds
brain
good.
spinning. I'm not saying you have to ask it now. I'm just kind of tossing it out there as a matter of conversation and continuing our whole vein of
Yeah.
re-energizing what it looks like. for us.
Marketing.
Exactly. Thank
Yeah. I will mention it to them.
you. All right. Madam Chair, you
All
still looking
right,
for
Ms.
a motion?
Paldra?
Yes, ma'am. I'm fine.
Okay. Yes, so the motion that I was asking for was to accept the finance report.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions on the motion to accept the finance report and recommend acceptance at the council meeting? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anything else for good of the order?
Madam Chair, just for the record, just because I only, I came in late, you asked, I'm just gonna abstain on the last one just because I didn't hear it in fully. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I'm just letting you know on the last vote, that's for the record, I abstained on it only because I was not here to hear the full finance report.
Okay. Oh, all right. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Daniels.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn is in order.
Huh?
So moved.
Second.
You know what? It works well when I get my report on time. And
That's
so I want to
right.
thank you, Ms. Paldra.
Yes.
That is the happy
ensuring
dance. That's the
that I got
happy
my,
dance.
As long as
report
it does,
on time.
however
Yes.
it works.
And I will look for it on I know that you said on Monday, and I know that Miss Pope was sick. So we'll look forward to getting that a week in advance for February. Thank you.
This is awesome. And we
Good
appreciate
night.
you. We appreciate you, Madam Chair, for having your pre-meetings because it helps us too. in these meetings.
No problem. As long as I got my stuff on time, I'm good to go. I got my questions answered.
You
I
did.
Yes,
I
you
appreciate
did.
that.
Madam Chair, I know we're
So,
excited about
and
it.
if in the
For record,
future, if you all have questions, it could be even shorter. If you call Ms. Pope, which I'm
This is
assuming
true.
that you all have always done, and ask her your questions.
Yep.
Good night.
Madam Chair, we never.
Yes.
We never put a vote for it, just for the record. All we did was a second. We motioned in second. Nobody said aye yet.
You don't have to for
Did
adjournment.
the happy dance. Nobody said aye yet. So I just wanted to let you know.
You don't have to for adjournment.
Okay, sorry. Bye.
That's all right.
Bye-bye.
I guess
Have a
we
good
need
night.
parliamentary procedure. Good night.
Have a good night.
That's coming up.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
How